Welcome back. Now it's time for Roger Montgomery to survey the stocks he likes.
There's a stock at the moment that I like.
Yeah.
It's just
a
gone
newie for you?
today. It is new. I haven't talked about it here before.
Yeah.
And I do like it. It's a little company called Vocus Communications.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going on the program next week.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think this particular business has terrific opportunities ahead of it.
Yeah.
It is now trading at a slight premium to my intrinsic value of $2.45.
Yeah.
Today it jumped. I think it got up to $2.90 or something like that. So, unfortunately, it's a little bit expensive at the moment, but keep an eye on it. What it does is it leases, effectively, space on the Southern Cross cable, the cable that carries internet and data traffic between Australia and the United States. Now, the great thing about this is it's like a toll road where people drive their cars and pay a toll even while they sleep. So everybody's on Twitter now, and while they've got their phone turned on, they've got RSS feeds and they've got Twitter feeds and they've got their Facebook updates and they've got their email coming in. So even a toll road, people go to sleep at night. They park their car in the garage, they go to sleep, no tolls on the road. This particular toll, they're getting clipped like even while they sleep.
Rust never sleeps.
You've got the cloud happening, so even more data demand. If the NBN takes off, there's going to be even more requirement for bigger data downloads because people are going to be lured into it because it's faster. So I think the growth and internet traffic last year in Australia alone, we're a saturated market. We've got massive penetration of the internet in the home in Australia and in business. It was up 57% last year alone, internet traffic. So I think that's going to continue. And this is a business that has now, it's signed up Vodafone as a client. And that's basically going to now cover its overheads, so it can go out and get much higher business.
So it's a relatively small firm at this stage.
It is a very small business. It's a new business. It's a new business, but it's run by some guys who started Pipe Networks. They were CEO of Aussie Mail. They've got awesome experience.
No, I'm sure I got on the program.
You know, there was more risk. You know, there was more risk backing Sergey Brin at Google than there is backing these guys.
This is the CEO of Vocus Communications, which is a new age company that experts believe could be in the right place at the right time. So let's just see what this company is all about and see if we agree with the expert views. Welcome, James Spenceley. Nice to meet you, mate.
Nice to meet you also.
So tell us about the company Vocus Communications.
Certainly, we like to think of Vocus as the ISP's ISP. If you imagine that every retail consumer out there needs to get the internet from an ISP, well, that ISP in turn needs to get internet from an upstream service provider. So that's where we really take care of the information superhighways, the large capacity links around the world.
Okay, so just imagine there's some normal people out there who are saying, I've heard of an ISP, but what really is an ISP?
So an ISP is a retail service provider. They're somebody who provides internet to your home, be it via a phone line or a wireless link. Or
so what are the common names that we're talking about?
Oh, common names are Telstra's obviously a large ISP.
Optus, Vodafone, all those ones.
Exactly right.
Now you're saying that these people don't necessarily have their infrastructure totally independent. It's interlocked into another big ISP?
Exactly right. So someone like a Telstra would obviously have their own infrastructure outside of Australia, but most of the Tier 2 and Tier 3, so the smaller ISPs and medium ISPs, need to get their connectivity from someone like us.
So the ones we're talking about, like for example, a smaller one like iiNet or something, they would use Telstra locally, Telstra infrastructure, but they want to go overseas, they have to use something else. Exactly. And that's where you guys fit in.
Exactly right. And iiNet's a great customer of ours and do great things in the market. So.
Okay, all right. So where did you get the idea that something like this was needed?
Well, I think we've always done something similar in the industry. There's been this wholesale notion of providers. So myself and a team of core staff worked in doing this for about 15 years. We've always worked for much larger organisations and ones that necessarily haven't offered the same level of customer service. So we saw.
What are your opportunities for growth?
I think our key opportunity for growth is the data centre space. I think everyone's seen a lot of talk nowadays about this cloud computing. Everyone moving no longer buying servers and hardware themselves, but putting that out in the cloud. Well, that cloud actually needs somewhere to house its equipment. So we've bought a business in late late last year, which is a data center operator. So it provides the physical environment, the cooling, the 100% uptime to power for these cloud computing opportunities, and that's an area we're seeing a huge amount of growth.
So maybe you should explain cloud computing, because everyone hears about it is going to be the way of the future. Why is it going to be so significant, and what proportion of development are we in at this stage? Like, if it's going to be 100%, where do you think we're at this stage? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think we're probably just really starting out in the market. It's probably in the percentage, maybe it's 5%.
Yeah, it's over 10%.
We see kids coming through, 18, 20-year-old kids coming through with fantastic ideas that we think are going to be massive in terms of the ability to move that data away from your computer, away from your iPad, away from your phone, into the cloud, so it's accessible to you anytime, anywhere, any place.
Okay, so give us an example so we actually can believe in this dream of yours.
Sure. Well, I think iTunes is probably the best example.
Okay.
If you think iTunes really stores all of the music out there in the network, and when you want to access it, you actually go and buy it from iTunes, and you can store it on your iPad or your iPhone.
So the iTunes model, in a sense, is a cloud model.
Is a cloud model, absolutely.
Okay. So rather than actually buying the CD and whacking it into your CD player, you're bring it in, you're playing it through your iPod or on your laptop or something like that.
Or your Apple TV, for example. Apple TV is a great little system. You can buy a movie, download it to your TV, watch it for about a week, and then it disappears back off your computer. So if you need to download it again, you have to bring it back in from that network.
Yeah. So Apple TV, what are the threats to your business then?
Well, I think anyone in the industry and in the telecommunications industry will always tell you Telstra's a threat. Yeah. Whether Telstra, they're a gorilla in the industry.
And are you suggesting that they probably have potential they haven't really flexed because of it was too easy in the old days, but maybe with this NBN thing, some creative minds might come along, and that could be a challenge to you?
Absolutely. I think the NBN really just throws everything back up in the air, and Telstra will have a lot of money and a lot of marketing power, so they'll be certainly very strong in that. And I think that's the thing. Telstra can move between being very strong in an area to not being focused on it. So it'll be key to see how they react. Yeah,
but because there's so much market potential, I guess, does that make you less worried that even if they flex, in a sense, they'll help you because they will market the kinds of activities that you also will be supplying as well. So even though they'll be a threat, but they'll be also helping you as well at the same time.
Absolutely. I think the key thing for us is we're seeing the amount of data that the person uses in their house just grow exponentially. I mean, 5 years ago, you're lucky to get a gigabyte cap. I mean, today you can get 1,000 gigabytes or 500 gigabytes. And that's really, I think, sort of shifting the usage pattern. And we see most of our growth nowadays, at least over half our growth coming from our customers upgrading rather than new customers.
So, therefore, when you go to sleep at night, apart from praying for your family, do you pray for NBN? Is NBN going to be good for you?
I think we're probably one of the few businesses that is a completely net positive for our business. I mean, if you give someone more bandwidth and faster speeds at home, they're going to download more internet.
Like I would say, I don't even think about downloading movies at this stage because it is easier just to drive to the video shop. But when it becomes so easy, I worry for my poor video shop owner.
That's right, I do too. I walk past every day and I think, how are they going to survive when you can download the latest movies?
Eat them up one day.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Any other threats or opportunities we haven't got to, but you think are important?
Well, I think the big opportunity, I think, for the industry is the NBN. And as that rolls around, I think as an aside to that, probably a threat is the NBN as well. For a lot of companies, the NBN is a massive change. So we really have to see how that affects the retail service providers. Does someone like a Coles become an internet provider? So there's a lot of change coming, and I think that for many businesses there's as much threat from an NBN as there is.
But I guess you're also a takeover target as well, aren't you?
Quite possibly, certainly. The very exciting industry in terms of mergers and acquisitions. Okay,
well, mate, thanks for sharing us your points of view. I think we've covered a lot of it, and good luck.
Pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Cheers, mate.